What's up, guys? It's your man Z here. Um, I know I haven't posted in a while. Um, I've been busy with school and work and everything, so I apologize for that. But I'm very, very pumped up about this upcoming UFC card, which is going to be on Saturday. And as you can see, I'm in a different location. I'm actually in a hotel. Uh, Part of being a college student in 2021 is dealing with the COVID pandemic. So I've had 1 week of quarantine last fall, and now this week or this semester, I we were put in quarantine last week around April 10th, and because one of my roommates tested positive, and now we were right about to get out of quarantine on Thursday, but we got put in quarantine again because another one of my roommates tested positive. So not the best situation, but knock on wood, I'll keep testing negative, and then I can be out free this Friday. But it's just going to college during the pandemic is, that's what it is. So let's get into this UFC card. Stacked, absolutely stacked card. I'm just gonna go over the main card for this video, just to keep it a little bit on the shorter side. So I'm a big UFC fan. I know the YouTube has a big MMA community, so I'm hoping to, make some UFC videos and get some of that audience. This channel is, I do everything on this channel, whether it's, I haven't really been able to travel much, but I have a couple videos lined up for that. And then also, fashion and shoes. And then also, I'm a big UFC fan, so I like having that in my videos as well. So let's get into this card. So Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Crute. That's the first fight on this card. Good way to open up the pay per view. Nothing too crazy, to be honest, but Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute's a pretty rising prospect. He's out of Australia or New Zealand, so he's out of like the Oceania situation. And Anthony Smith, he beat Alexander Gustafsson after his title versus John Jones, but he really hasn't looked too good after that. He got smoked by Glover Teixeira. I actually had Anthony Smith in that fight. First round went well, didn't go well after that. Jimmy Crute's been a rising prospect. I think the line is like Jimmy Crute minus 190. So Jimmy Crute's the favorite. I think Anthony Smith is around like plus 150 or something. The odds could be a little bit closer because Jimmy Crute hasn't beat anyone on Anthony Smith's level, but I'm gonna have to go with Jimmy Crute on this one. I just think that Jimmy Crute is gonna be able to, you know, get in close on Anthony Smith, grab him up in the clinch, and take him down. Because if you guys remember an Anthony Smith fight against Alexander Rakic or other fights, once you take Anthony Smith down, unless you're Devin Clark and you get triangled, if you can just control Anthony Smith on the ground, he's really not going to get up, especially Jimmy Crute, who's a good wrestler. I just have a feeling that Jimmy Crute's going to get him to the ground and just keep him there for 3 rounds. I don't think he'll finish Anthony Smith, but if Anthony Smith can keep his distance and not get controlled on the ground, Anthony Smith can win this fight. But I just think that Jimmy Crute is just going to be able to control him, take him down, and control him on the ground. I don't know if it's going to be a really entertaining fight, but I have Jimmy Crute in that one. Good way to start off the pay per view. All right, big fight on middleweight next: Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman. This is basically a pick'em fight. I think both are like at minus 110. I think Uriah Hall actually might be a slight favorite now, minus 115. I've gone back and forth in this one. I've watched videos. I just think Uriah Hall is going to catch Chris Weidman. I know Chris Weidman's pretty confident in saying that he can make another championship run. Don't agree with that. His chin is, I think his chin's gone. Um, I just think this is what I boil it down to. I just think that over 3 rounds, Uriah Hall is a good enough striker, which he's one of the elite strikers of the division. I think Uriah Hall is going to be able to catch Chris Weidman over 3 rounds. Chris Weidman will get a takedown. He might be able to take him down for 1 round and control him. But I just think Uriah Hall will be able to stuff a takedown or either catch Chris Weidman coming in or just pick him apart. Because if you remember Chris Weidman's last fight against Omari Akhmedov, he gassed. So I just don't think Chris Weidman is going to be able to be technically sound defensively to withstand Uriah Hall's striking pedigree over 3 rounds. I just foresee Uriah Hall just catching a nasty combination on him and putting Chris Weidman's lights out. I don't think Uriah Hall can. I would say Uriah Hall's either going to win this fight by knockout, and then Chris Weidman's going to win this fight by decision. I don't think it's going to go Uriah Hall by decision, so I do think Uriah Hall's going to finish this fight and beat Chris Weidman. Um, that's just my take. It's a pick 'em fight, so either one guy could win. Obviously, I just think Uriah Hall has good enough striking and good enough defense to not get controlled in the ground by Chris Weidman at this stage of his career, and Uriah Hall will catch him over 3 rounds. So let's get into these 3 title fights. Huge 3 title fights. I mean, these title fights are insane. Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. Um, Valentina's a pound. Valentina's a best pound for pound fighter in the UFC. The second best women's fighter on the planet besides Amanda Nunes. I'd love to see a trilogy fight between them. Um, Now, usually Valentina Shevchenko is like a minus 1,000 favorite, so you are getting value on Valentina at minus 400. Um, I A lot of people are giving Andrade a good chance in this fight. Which, listen, I had Rose beating Andrade in the first fight, and obviously she got slammed in her head. But I also had Rose in the second fight, and I won that. Rose picked her apart. The third round was kind of close. Well, the third round was actually really bad for Rose, but she still won the decision. But me going into those fights was just Rose picking her apart on the outside, and that's what she did until she either got slammed to her head or got beat up in the third round. But I had Rose winning both those fights, and obviously she won the second. Valentina is better than Rose. Valentina is stronger than Rose, more technical. I don't really see how Andrade could win this fight. She's not going to be able to slam Valentina. Valentina has good enough judo and good enough hip strength to not get, Valentina tosses people herself. So I could see Valentina just tripping Andrade and hip tossing and getting her on the ground. I could easily see Valentina doing that like she did to Chikagian and just elbowing her on the ground. Um, I see Valentina basically picking apart Andrade from the outside, maybe even taking her down. I don't think Andrade really has good jiu-jitsu off her back. Now, what Valentina needs to avoid is getting in the clinch with Andrade, because Andrade is probably the pound for pound strongest girl in the UFC. So once Andrade gets on you, she could do something to Valentina, but what Valentina needs to do is keep her distance, not get put up against the fence against Andrade, and not allow Andrade to use her bare strength. Because one thing that Andrade does have over Valentina is her brute strength. She's stronger than Valentina, but with technique, Valentina can um, defeat that strength. And I really just see Valentina using like her Muay Thai teep kicks to keep the distance with Andrade, fighting behind the jab. And one bet that I really like for this card is either under 4.5 rounds or Valentina by finish. I see Valentina finishing this fight against Andrade, because Andrade, you have to give her credit, she comes forward and is very aggressive. But against Valentina, I don't think you want to do that, because I think that just gives more of an opportunity for Valentina to finish her. So I'm predicting Valentina to finish Andrade during this fight, whether it's early or in the championship rounds. I don't think this fight is going past round 4 or going into the 5th round. That's why I think it's going to be under 4.5 rounds. I think that's a good bet, especially at even money. I foresee Valentina finishing this fight and just putting away Andrade. That's just my opinion, and you're you're getting value on Valentina in this fight, because Andrade is once Andrade beat Chikagian, that was the fight I wanted to see, because Andrade's a clear cut #1 contender. But I foresee Valentina winning this fight and finishing Andrade. Now let's go to the co-main event. Probably going to be the most competitive back and forth fight out of the whole title fights. Weili Zhang or Zhang Weili versus Rose Namajunas. I'm a huge Rose fan, and I'm a huge Weili fan. Um, I mean, I mean, I remember last March when the Style Bender versus Yoel Romero card, that Joanna versus Weili fight was one of the best fights of all time, fight of the year last year for sure. Um, so Weili, that was a heck of a first title defense, and obviously Rose beat Joanna twice. So I think Rose, yeah, I mean, to be honest, and I see a lot of people saying this too, I think Joanna could have won that fight against Weili. I mean, Weili got the decision; it was a toss up, but I think Joanna could have won that fight. Um, this is a tough one, man. This is tough. I would say Rose is the more technical striker. Weili is the stronger, not a brawler because that's disrespectful to her style, but I don't think she has the technical like footwork and jab that Rose does because Trevor Whitman groomed Rose to a technical artist. But Weili is just so strong, packs so much power in her legs and her kicks and her punches. I just she just seems much stronger than Rose. I mean, you can see like in her legs, Whaley's legs are like tree trunks, and Rose is just kind of like a skinny 115 strawweight. Um, I think for Rose to win, she either has to get this fight to the ground, like she said. Like I remember watching interviews, and Rose keeps saying like she envisions every fight by just like knocking the opponent down and grabbing her by the neck and choking her out. She hasn't done much of that, but I see Rose. Um, in order for Rose to win, I think she has to stay behind her jab, stay at distance, and not allow Weili to get her against the fence because Weili is going to be the stronger woman. Um, and I remember seeing analysis, I think, on the Anik and Florin podcast, which is a great podcast. One of the guys was saying like the Ioane Weili fight was like each of them going in, like and going back out. So meaning like they would go into it, they would like be at distance and they would come into it, they would come into each other and like throw a 1-2 combination and back out, kind of just like fight, come in, fight for 1 or 2 combinations, then back out. I see that happening again this fight. But I just think that I don't know. I just think that Weili's punches and Weili's combinations are going to hurt Rose more than Rose's combinations against Weili. Now, Rose is a live underdog. I don't the disrespect against Rose. The last time I checked, Weili was a minus 210 favorite. Rose was a plus 175 underdog. I mean, that's if if you're going to give Rose a plus 180 or almost a 2-1 underdog, I mean, I don't blame you for taking it. That's very disrespectful against Rose. Um, so I know a lot of people on Weili in this fight, but I think betting Weili at minus 200 or above is kind of hard to do. I think this is going to be a war. I don't really see any. I don't. I think this is going to be like the Joanna Weili fight. I don't think anyone's going to get finished here. I think it's going to go all 5 rounds. But I think if anyone's going to get the finish, it's going to be Weili because I just think Weili could just overcome Rose and just assert her strength and dominance over Rose, like in the championship rounds. Like I can just see Weili just weighing on Rose and finishing her in rounds 4 or 5. I don't really see Rose finishing Weili because I think Weili has a better cardio. So I'm gonna go Weili, but I think Rose is definitely a live underdog, and I think that she's the underdog that definitely has the most chances of winning out of the whole title fights. So I got Weili. I'll go Weili by decision. Yeah, but I could definitely see Weili finishing this fight in the championship rounds. And now the main event. You know, a lot of people kind of controversial to have Jorge Masvidal um, get a rematch right after without fighting again. But I don't blame him. I don't blame the UFC. It's the money fight. Now, Kamaru is a 4-1 favorite, which, in my opinion, I think Kamaru is probably the most, besides Amanda and Valentina, because those are the weight classes aren't the same. But for the men's side of things, I think Kamaru has been the most dominant champion so far. Um, Obviously, with Habib retiring, um, I think Kamaru has really no holes in his game. He's a 4-1 favorite over Jorge, and I know last fight, I know a lot of money got put in Jorge late, and a lot of people like that because Kamaru's line went down and a lot of people thought, like the sharps, thought Kamaru was going to win, but a lot of public money went on Jorge. I don't see that happening this time around. Jorge's still like a um, like a plus 300 underdog. So I'm gonna go with Kamaru here. I just hope that he doesn't. I just hope that he doesn't stay on the field of Jorge past round one, because he could fall in love with his hands after the Gilbert Burns knockout. I don't think he will, because I think Trevor Whitman's one of the best coaches in the game, and Trevor Whitman will tell Kamaru, if Kamaru stays on the feet, he'll be like, Kamaru, do what got you to the dance, and take this guy down. Jorge can't stand. Jorge cannot stop you from taking him down with the clinch. Obviously, Jorge has Mike Brown at ATT, so they can have a great game plan as well. I just think that I don't know what's going to change. Like, Jorge's already 35, 36. What is he going to be able to do to change? Kamaru's getting better every fight. I don't know if Jorge is. So I just think that Kamaru, even though Jorge can stuff his takedowns, I don't know how Jorge's gonna be able to stop Kamaru from clinching him and getting on the cage and then maybe taking him down or just dirty boxing him. Jorge can win this fight. Like, Jorge can win this fight. Especially his cardio will be much better. He didn't take the fight on 6 days. But I'm just gonna go with Kamaru on this one. Um, I don't see Jorge getting finished, so I'll go with Kamaru by decision. But I would not count on Jorge finishing Kamaru, because you saw Gilbert Burns hurt Kamaru in the first round of last fight. I could definitely see Jorge finishing Kamaru. That's the only way Jorge wins, in my opinion. But I think I'm going to go with Kamaru with decision. So yeah, so for my main card, I'm going to go with Jimmy Crute, Uriah Hall, Valentina, uh, Weili, and Kamaru. Those are my five picks for the main card. I hope you guys like this video. Again, I'm going to try to upload more frequently. I've just been bogged down by school and just being in quarantine and stuff. But I'm happy that I've also been applying to a lot of jobs and everything. But it's just, that's the life of being a senior in college. But I hope all of you are staying safe during this pandemic. Hopefully, a lot of you are getting the vaccine. And um, for my UFC fans out there, the UFC's been leading the way in the pandemic. I'm very pumped to see the fans back in the live in the crowd in Jacksonville. So I can't wait for there to be like a live audience again. This is a stacked card, UFC 261. Can't wait. I'll definitely be watching. And I thought of, especially because I was in quarantine last weekend for the Whitaker Gastelum fight, I thought of doing like a fight companion. So if this video gets some views and people want me to do a fight companion, I'm definitely down, because I watch every UFC event. I'm a big fan. So yeah, so everyone stay safe, and definitely enjoy the card this weekend. And I'm pumped for it. So with that being said, peace.